Subscribe to LearnCab and hit the bell icon to get notified.
Hey guys, this is Vikram from LearnCab. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today let's just check out some important concepts about IP. What is IP? Come on, IP is not your IPMIN. Then what is IP? Welcome to the world of intellectual property. Yes, you're going to see something about intellectual property today. So, okay, now what is intellectual property? Have you ever thought that your thoughts can be protected? You can make money out of what you can think. Come on friends, it's only the real estate's making money. Those days are gone. You can just make money from your thoughts, from your works, from your deeds, from your books, from your notes, from your songs. All these bathroom singers should probably come out and start singing and making copyrighted. Let's see what is intellectual property. Let's go through and understand the jargons used in intellectual property. Your patents, your trademarks, your copyrights, so on and so forth. In the beginning, let's see the true meaning of the word intellectual property. Inventions, your creations or your contributions, all of it can be saved. You are the true owner of your works. How would you feel if I tell you that you can have a thought and that thought can be converted into a product and that product can be sold to a particular person for money? Wouldn't you feel happy? I'll be jumping in joy. Yes, that's true. These are the intellectual properties. So your invention, so you invent something, you create something. You use your brains and use some wheels, some broken spare parts, some broken machineries, take something, pull something, get something, fix something, assemble something. Something comes out, a surprise, something works. You have something there, you press a button here, something moves there. It's an invention of your own. Come on, you're the person who's given birth to that. You own it. You cannot, again, make it as an asset. It's something. It's like your kid. You've given a birth to it, you can own it, and you can also rent it, sell it, or lease it. You can do whatever you want. Owned and legally protected by an individual from outside use. Let's see some more important snippets on this. IP, that is intellectual property, has assumed a huge role in several developments. Friends, it is important to see here and understand that today the corporate, especially the IT domain, the software industries, runs exclusively on intellectual properties. Have you ever heard that Microsoft made this amount of dollars of income, billions of dollars? You have Apple, you have Mac, you have that software, you have Adobe, you have Oracle. Oh my God, so much, millions of money. What are these guys into? They're into software. What is software? It all boils down to your intellectual property. Yes, it is something which cannot be seen. It's something which cannot be touched. Something which cannot be felt. But it has its value. It can be expressed in terms of dollars or INRs. Who's going to do that? You have professionals to do that. Yes. Central element for establishing value and growth. This is very important. IP has moved the whole regime of business into its domain. It has changed the minds of people. It is in various areas. It has overtaken manufacturing industry also. This is very important for you to know. And yes, professionals like you and also budding professionals have a huge role to play in IP. Wanted to know what? How can you contribute? How can you become a professional and contribute more into the existing domain in the world of intellectual property? Keep watching. We'll see how to do. It's always interesting to start anything with a story, right? Yes. Here I've got a short story here. So it's a story of a John and Peter. So we have John and you have Peter with us. So these two people graduated from the same college, studied together, good friends, been out together, seminars, internships, learning, books, textbooks, exams, all together. They know each other well. Yes. Now what? They're out of college, graduated. So John is got a graduation. Peter got a graduation. Yes, know what? What next? John and his friend Peter, they wanted to do a business. John is a studious guy like you and me. Peter is a guy who would hardly do things. Like, okay, come on, let's do it tomorrow. Okay, come on, let's do it tomorrow. John went ahead, worked hard, put his head down, worked, and he invented a device. What is a device known as? Know your street. Before you start from your home, you can just know where the roads are blocked in traffic, all those details. It's a wonderful device, something similar to your phone. John invented. And you know Peter got to know John invented this device. He walked into John. He says, hey John, come on, congratulations man, you got a device for yourself. Okay, let me see it. He sees the device. He takes the device, he makes copies of it and started selling to people. People started asking, hey Peter, did you do it or did John do this? Peter is like, hey, come on, John and me graduated together. We are close buddies, man. It's if I do something, it's like John doing, and John doing something, it's like me doing. Peter started selling thousands of copies of such devices and made a huge chunk of money. John was deprived. He had nothing to say. He lost all his money. It was his brainchild. John said, okay, fine. End of the day, it is my friend Peter. Let him go. I'll pardon him. And he took up the next assignment. He wrote a book. And what's the name of the book? It says Nothing to Everything. He wrote his own journey. He started from zero and how to become rich, especially book oriented towards startup. Book got immense recognition in the Indian markets and also the global markets. It got rated New York bestseller, so on and so forth. Yes, here comes our hero. The Peter walks in again and says, hey John, congratulations, you got a book. Okay, let me look at it. He looks at the book, he takes it out, he makes copies and starts selling the book in his name. He makes the money again. John again. Yes, you are right, he's deprived. What next? John did not know what to do with his friend. He said, okay, fine, let me even pardon him this time. It's Peter, it's okay, fine. Peter, it's okay, I've studied with him, had lunch together, it's okay, fine. Took one more assignment. What? He started a whole hotel chain. John is from proper South Indian tradition, so he started a hotel chain called the Sambar and Vada. Trust me, it was such a huge business. It had a huge potential. People all over the world started saying that, okay, have a branch in our country, have a branch in our street, have a branch in our close to my home, or start selling it online, we're going to buy it, or have your agents, franchise. A lot of discussions about the Sambar and Vada. That was featured in an international newspaper. Yes, you guessed it right. It's again the Peter who walks in, he takes the recipe of Sambar and Vada and starts getting a hotel chain. John is not going to give up on Peter this time. He says, I'm going to teach Peter a lesson. What can John do? You tell me, what can John do? You are a professional. John comes to you and asks, hey, this is a problem. I had a device, this guy took it off. I wrote a book, this guy took it off. I had a hotel chain, I created a trademark, this guy took it off. What do I do now? Here is the solution. Very simple. When you invent a device, John should have patented the device. Yes, you are right. If he had patented, Peter couldn't have taken it from John. When John wrote a book, Nothing to Everything, he should have copyrighted the work. Yes, you're right. And again, when John started a hotel chain called the Sambar and Vada, he should have trademarked the logo and the word, right? If he had done either patented or copyrighted trademark, neither Peter nor anyone in the world would have dared to take it from John. And today probably would have seen John settled in some part of the United States and enjoying his retirement life. Yes, friends. So what do we learn from this story? There are three things which is the brainchild of John. A device, a book, and a brand, a trademark. He did not save because he trusted his friends would not probably take it from him, but his friend Peter took it away. Yes, this is something which we're going to see. Here we're going to see what is patent, what is trademark, what is copyright. We'll just have a brief discussion about how these things work. What are these jargons? What is this name? Is it sounding Latin and Greek to you? Yes, or it was the same to me. Once I got through that, and became good at it. You also become good at it subsequently. Before getting into intellectual property, I want you to know something about property. So what is property? What is the concept of property? To know a topic well, we may have to always dwell into the concept of the topic. This is very essential. Okay, now can some of you tell me what is property? Yes, those guesses were right. A property is something you can feel, something you can touch. Okay, my dad owns this house. Okay, that's his property. Okay, my brother has a Mercedes Benz. Okay, that's his property. Okay, my mom has that traditional jewelry. Okay, that's her property. Yes, you're all right. You're all right. Property, yeah. Concept of property. Man can have any kind of property. That's very important. He can touch, he can feel. That's called tangible property, a physical property. Do you also know that property can be intangible? You cannot see, you cannot feel. Yes, you would have come across your accountancy, which talks about goodwill. You value some, you give some number where you can't see, you can't touch. That's exactly what we're going to see today. The concept of property is such a huge, such wide, that not only tangible, not only things you can see, touch and feel is a part of it. Something which you can't see, which you can't touch, which you can't feel can also be considered as property, provided you need to satisfy something. Let's see what is that something. Yes, birth of an intellectual property. Yes, here you see the baby boy, the baby girl of intellectual property is taken birth. So who would be the parents? Quickly, yes, come on. Human beings. Yes, you read it right. It's human beings who are the birth of intellectual property. It's you who are given a birth to it. You have thought something about it. Human beings' intellectual capabilities, yes, perfectly. You thought it is born. John thought about the device was born. John thought about the ingredients of his idli and sambar. The hotel chain was born. John thought, what should he write about nothing to everything? Okay. He got his book. Interestingly, note here, IP, intellectual property, is the capabilities multiplied by human labor. This is no formula, please. It's not a math. Okay, this is no math. Okay, relax. This is not multiplication. But just know the property, intellectual property, can be divided when you have the capabilities, intellectual capability. We have a creative thoughts that works along with your labor. You have a thought. Okay, just imagine George R.R. Martin. We all know he's the author of the Game of Thrones, the fancy series. Okay, he just thinks, okay, this is how a king, queen should be. This is how a king should be. Okay, just have a thoughts, and he just sits and relax in a cup of tea. You think we would have got a series? Obviously not. Human labor. He should work towards it. He should have a character towards it. Yes, intellectual property is the capabilities into human labor. Is the birth of your intellectual property. Information embedded in a tangible object. Yes, that's right. I am bringing intangible now where I'm talking about intangible, because I think something. Okay, now I just thought about something. I just thought something. Can you see what I thought? Obviously not. Unless I put my thoughts in a tangible object for you to see it. It's called expression in intellectual property laws. You need to express your thought. Just thinking means nothing. Okay, thinking means it's initial stage. So come on, you got to put it in physical stage and start telling out people, start showing out people, right? Yes, correct. The birth of intellectual property. So these are the factors probably responsible for intellectual property. And yes, the main important right is that you should have the right and capability to reproduce it at different intervals, as in different places, different intervals. That's very important. So, for example, take a product of John, Know Your Streets. He said, okay, I got something Know Your Streets. It's work only in one part of the city and doesn't work in another part of the city. Or probably I use it today and I cannot reproduce it again, or I cannot use it tomorrow. It cannot be registered as intellectual property. It is not an IP. You find something, you invent something you do. It should be the same today, it should be the same tomorrow, the same day after tomorrow. Maybe upgradation, degradation can be done, but it should have the capability to be reproduced. So there are two major types of intellectual property, my friends. This is a very brief type, as in a macro level of thinking. It's not micro. So one is industrial property, which talks about your patents, your trademarks, industrial design, and your geographical indications. Yes, correct, it's geographical indication. No worries, it's not a biological class, but anyways, you may have to know it is a geographical indication. We'll talk about it later. We have details. The second type is your copyright. Yes, copy, your literary works, your artistic, your music, your painting, your bathroom singing, and all those things, your skit, your drama, whatnot. Anything which involves art. Okay, that's more of an elaborate way of telling you what's copyright. The major types of intellectual property. Just know this for now. We'll have a lot of discussions on this, and we'll go in detail with each and every topic going forward. For this, you just know two things, and these are the two things. Important things. What you should know. Intellectual property rights. Two important things: that it gives a right to the creator. Yes, you're the author, you're the parent, you are the person who's given birth to your intellectual property, your thoughts, your creativity. So you have a sole right. It gives the creators the right and right over their creation. Exactly. So you have a right over your creation against others. So what is against others? Here comes your negative right. So what is negative rights? You see the person here saying that no, you cannot take it from me, you cannot copy it from me. Means what? When you own something, you own it against the right of another person claiming it. Getting it? You own something. I own a phone, iPhone 11. My phone, iPhone 11, I bought it from Amazon. I own my phone against someone else owning it. So no one can claim the phone. My right, my positive right of owning the phone can also be shown as a negative right for someone else not to own the phone. Getting it? That is a negative right. Intellectual property law operates on the forum of negative rights. So when you own an intellectual property, it's important to note that unless your other rights, intellectual property talks about negative rights. When you own something, others cannot own that. That is a negative right. So major difference between your intellectual property and property. Yes, intellectual property cannot be defined, cannot be identified. Yes, you're correct. You cannot, as I told you, it's more of an abstract. You cannot define it, you cannot identify it, cannot be identified. Doesn't mean that you cannot talk about it or you cannot give a picture for it. You can certainly quantify it, it needs to be documented. But see, I give you an example. How about documenting details of a 3-storied building? How about documenting a English series which you're going to direct? How about it? Huge difference, right? You're documenting about a building or a house or something. It's very easy, just a matter of time. Documenting about a movie which you're going to shoot, it's something different. It's not easy, but you can still do it. Yeah, you need to do it. That's a requirement under the law. We'll see that. It must be expressed in some form to be protected. Yes, this is important for you to know that until you express, you cannot claim ownership over your thoughts. You cannot be a crying baby going to your mama or papa and saying that, okay, I just thought about this, okay, I discussed it with my friend, before I could do something, he went and did something and I was making money. No, sorry, you have no candies here. There's no point in crying. You think something, keep it to yourself, go express it in form of a tangible thing and then shoot it. Yes, then you're the owner. Get it registered and then shoot it. The registration is important. We'll see what is registration. Yes, and capable of being reproduced. We have discussed this. Interestingly to note, you should be knowing this. Intellectual property has got international recognition. Sounds fancy. Yes, you have the Paris Convention, which talks about the protection of industrial property. It was happened in 1883, way back. It's too old, I know. And you have the Berne Convention, which talks about protection of literary and artistic work. It's more of a copyright, and that's more of a industrial production. More of that. I mean, at that point did not have the word patent, trademark and all those things. It was more of a raw, basic law. Later it got evolved and you have a finest of fine terminologies and languages now existing today. Yeah. Yes, WIPO, I can tell you it is a international institution which takes care and manages and of all the intellectual property laws all over the world. World Intellectual Property Organization is something we should be knowing. Just know it for now, remember it for now. We'll discuss about it later. Yeah. So, conclusion, what can we say? That you are an exclusive owner of your land. If I say this, that you are owner of your land, you would say, thank you, Vikram, I'm happy, welcome. If I say you are the owner of your idea, Vikram, what are you talking? Yes, I'm talking sense, I'm making sense. You are the owner of your idea. That is the power of intellectual property. You are the property holder. If I say you can get incentive from your land, you'll be like, yes, Vikram, I grow a crop, I build a house, I leave it for rent, I grow a crop, I sell it off the harvest, I make money. you have the incentive from your idea. You know now, I think now you know how you can make money out of your thoughts, you can make money out of your ideas. Yes, true. Intellectual property, you get it registered either as a patent or a trademark or a copyright. But please don't make the mistake made by John. You always have a Peter in your friends, come on. So this is the conclusion of this particular lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you around sometime again with some more information about intellectual property. Have fun till then. Thank you.
Subscribe to LearnCab and hit the bell icon to get notified.